Welcome to another Sober Morning Reset coaching session. I'm Aaron, the Sober Life Coach. I'm a coach, author, speaker, and I've been 7 years sober for the past 7 years. And I did that without alcohol, without AA or rehab or anything like that, not the traditional path. I was created my own path, and I want to help you guys get to where you want to go. And hopefully, we can help you guys get over some of the things that were roadblocks to me and some of the roadblocks I'm seeing with my clients so that we can get you guys to where you want to go with your alcohol free lifestyle. Today, we're going to be talking about something super, super important, and that is your social armor, right? Socializing sober, one of those things that holds a lot of people back because, a lot of these traditional programs out there say that you can't be around alcohol, that you don't, that there is no way you can do it. If you go to a barber shop, you're gonna get a haircut, those kinds of things. And yeah, that's nice. That's something that might work for some people. But I was one of those people that didn't want to hide from alcohol, and I also realized that alcohol was everywhere. The marketing was everywhere. The people were everywhere. You're gonna have work functions. It just didn't really fit into my life to think that I can go anywhere with alcohol, and that alcohol is going to be in control of me, and that I had to, avoid all these situations forever. And I really wanted to experiment with that and realize and push myself to go forward and be around alcohol and say no and move forward with my life. And that's exactly what I did. I can be around alcohol now. People can drink around me. It doesn't really bother me because I changed that identity level. I no longer drink. I eliminated that need to drink because there's a difference between quitting drinking and eliminating the need to drink. Quitting drinking is just getting rid of alcohol. The void is still there. Alcohol is still there. You see it as a solution. Eliminate the need to drink is getting rid of those underlying issues, putting better habits in place, changing an identity level. That kind of work really helped me get to me where I want to go, and I didn't have to worry about being around alcohol because I was able to say no. I was able to see myself as someone who didn't drink, as opposed to seeing alcohol as a solution, having the FOMO, having feel like I'm missing out. So I want to really help you guys do that today. So have you ever felt like the odd one out when you're not drinking, right? Here's how to say no without being weird and still have fun. So let's get into that. But first of all, I wanted to just tell you a little bit of my story. I used to think that the only way to connect at a party or connect with my wife or connect with other people in work functions was with the drink in my hand. And the truth was, I just followed the crowd, not my values. I was following other people's values. I was following marketing. I was following, just trying to fit in. And once I had a few go-to scripts and exit strategies, social nights became easier and they were way more fun. Social events became easier. Going to work functions became a lot easier once I knew that I had a script in my mind that I was going to say in the very beginning. I don't have this script anymore because I just say no. But in the very beginning, I had all these scripts in my mind. I had an exit strategy. I had a plan going in, and that made social events, social things better. The first time I went to a social event or just an event where there's going to be alcohol, this wasn't really an event. It was more of a barbecue with my in-laws, right? Me and my father-in-law used to drink tequila. That's kind of how we bonded and connected. And the first time when just after July, mid-July, it was around probably July 20th or something, that first weekend, we went out to their house, and I was on the way there. I was practicing my script. I was saying, okay, this is what I'm going to say. I was going through my mind. I was getting anxious and nervous and, planning my exit strategy. I knew what I was going to do. I wrote it up beforehand. This is the first time I ever planned for these kinds of things. I usually just kind of winged it. I know to kind of wing it and have not have a plan, but I had a plan this time. So on the drive there, I was just going through my plan inside my head, visualizing what I was going to say, and all these things. And when I got there, of course, we got inside, did the whole how's it going, that kind of thing, and then the tequila came out, and he offered me a drink, and I said no, no thanks, I'm not drinking today, and that was it, no more. He didn't push it, he didn't pressure me, and and that kind of shocked me at first, but eventually I was able to just realize that that was something that was powerful to me because I said no, and they respected that, and I carried on. And sometimes people aren't going to respect it. Sometimes you're going to go to events and people are going to pressure you or whatever. And that went really well for me. But sometimes you're not going to have that luxury. So you might have to have some go-to things in your pocket. But for me, that was just so powerful for me because I had never said I'm not drinking, right? I would always just kind of in my mind be like, okay, well, I need to, right? I have to, I'm forced to. And I took responsibility for myself. And that was kind of the kickoff to living an alcohol-free lifestyle for good because I knew that I could say no. And if I hadn't put myself in that situation, I probably wouldn't be here today talking to you about living an alcohol-free lifestyle. So it's super important just to kind of get out there and do this and practice because that's going to really help you guys, and it helped me a ton in the beginning too, is just getting out there practicing. And just realizing that I had more power, I had more inner strength, I had more ability to change than I thought I did, and those breakthroughs can happen in a moment. So it's something I wanted to share with you guys before we carry on. So, how to protect your clarity and keep your friendship without confidence. That's what we're going to learn today. So, let's jump into it. So, you have your script, you have your arsenal, right? You're going to put one-liners that shut it down without drama. You can put things in your script like "I'm driving early" or "Alcohol gives me heartburn." "I'm on a health kick." You don't need long explanations, just confidence, right? A lot of people carry on and they continue, and I know I had these thoughts too. They're going to think I'm an alcoholic. They're going to think there's a problem with me, and all those thoughts are going to come, but just realize that you just have to give these quick little answers in the beginning, right? "I'm driving. Alcohol gives me heartburn. I'm on a health kick." Another thing that I had explained to me, I can't remember the alcohol free lifestyle. I think the channel is called James Sarwick. I think his name is. Anyways, he was talking about, how you should elevate and there's elevate and depreciate with your sobriety, right? If you elevate your sobriety, that's awesome. Sobriety is amazing. You're really explaining to someone. You really love sobriety, right? And then depreciation is, well, I'm just trying this for a little while. I don't know if I'm gonna succeed. And those kinds of things are really holding you back because if you don't see sobriety as something that you want, and other people are gonna see it as something as they want either, and then you're gonna just be stuck in this weird, awkward thing, and you're probably gonna just end up having a drink. So if you really, really elevate that sobriety, really get into it and say, I'm seeing all these benefits, this is amazing, and you're not forced to do it, it's really gonna help as well. So just kind of remember that elevate and depreciate. I thought that was kind of cool to a way to explain it. So don't know long explanations, just confidence, right? Have some confidence in yourself. Maybe you're not going to have, maybe it's not going to go the way you want. Maybe you end up having a drink, but whatever. That didn't work. Try something else. Get back on it. Move forward because it's not about perfection. It's about perfect practice, right? So just get out there and do it, and you'll get better. You'll get some sober wins under your belt eventually, right? So that's going to be something you want to have as a script with some of those things in it, just to write it down, just to have it there, just have a plan so you know what's going to happen. Next, little tip that I like to tell people is the drink in the hand hack, right? So hold a soda, non-alcoholic beer, sparkling water, have something in your hand because people really notice and you avoid awkward questions, right? So if you have something in your hand, people aren't going to notice. And here's the truth, and it's a harsh truth to realize, but most people don't care, right? They either care about about themselves. They're more inside their own heads. So, you think all these things, people are looking at me, but really in reality, most people don't care. There's going to be those few people that might have a problem themselves and they want to push that on you. But for the most part, most people aren't gonna even notice. And especially if you have a drink in your hand, you're gonna blend in. You're gonna be okay. So definitely, get that. And non-alcoholic beer or drinks are really helpful for a lot of people. I didn't use them, but a lot of people find them helpful. The people I work with find them helpful when they go into social situations. So maybe that's something you should look into as well. And then you can kind of have a FOMO reframe, right? Because fear of missing out is a huge thing, right? You fear that you're missing out on the fun and all this stuff, but I like to think of it as joymo, right? The joy of missing out. I get the joy of missing out on the shame, the guilt, the hangover, the fights, the bloating, the upset stomach, the weight gain, all those things. You get to miss out on that, and that's awesome. So should be a joyful thing, and fun. You shouldn't be fearing, success and moving forward. So let's spot the story, right? I'll miss out if I drink. That's something a lot of people say. I want to miss out if I don't drink, right? Well, let's reframe that. The real fun is remembering the night, not regretting it, right? You can have so many good memories, and you might even realize how silly you were acting when you're drinking too, because that happened to me before. You see drunk people around, you're like, man, these people are annoying, and then you realize, oh, that person was me, kind of cringy, right? So that's something that you can also see as well. And then boundaries and have your exit window, right? Set the boundaries and have an exit window. Decide your end time before you go. When are you going to leave? What's your exit, right? Give yourself permission to leave when energy drops. Give yourself permission to go to the bathroom if you need to, and kind of reset yourself. Boundaries equal freedom, not restriction, right? If you start setting these boundaries, if you start having a plan, having an escape plan, those kinds of things. If you have to leave, leave. Those are things that are up to you to put into place because that's going to really help as well. So hopefully these little tips help you guys get to where you want to go. And also, we're going to use the Dare to Be Sober method to kind of get through this a little bit easier. It's disrupt, ask, reframe, and execute. So we're going to disrupt the thought. This is not just social pressure, not my truth. So take a few breaths and just remind yourself, this is just social pressure. It's not my truth, right? It's not, there's nothing wrong with me. It's just a little bit of social pressure. Everyone has social pressure, right? You're going to go in life. If you think you're not going to have social pressure in your life, you're going to be highly shocked because you're going to have social pressure. You're going to have pressure all the time socially. So it's just a social pressure. It's not your truth. There's nothing wrong with you, right? Let's disrupt that that thought, take a few breaths, with the breathwork check-ins, 4x4 breathing, those kinds of things, and just take a moment to think. Then ask yourself, do I actually want this drink, right? And asking is great because your brain's like a computer, right? So it's the questions we ask, the questions, the answers we're going to get. A lot of time we're unconsciously asking questions of ourselves and we're feeling guilt and shame because we don't understand that we can change the questions. And one of the questions that really helps a lot of people is, do I actually want this drink? Do you actually want it, right? Because the answer you might get will be no, maybe not, right? And then reframe that. Saying no means yes, saying yes to tomorrow. Let's reframe that. If I say no today, it means saying yes tomorrow. Another thing you can ask yourself, is this actually going to get me where I want to go? Is this going to make me more confident? And look forward, right? Look at this horizon technique that we talk about, right? What's the horizon you're looking towards? Well, tomorrow morning, that's the horizon you want to look towards, right? That's kind of the beacon on the hill. That's the lighthouse. So if I'm looking towards tomorrow morning and I have a drink, what's that going to look like, right? Well, it's probably going to look like guilt, shame, anxiety, regret, say something stupid, right? But what if I look at the horizon and I don't have a drink, right? Now you're saying yes to tomorrow. Now you're saying yes to that sober version of you. Now you have something that you can look for, that sober morning that we're going to have tomorrow. And it's going to be amazing. Maybe you can spend time with your kids. Maybe you're going to wake up and have a great day at work, whatever it is. And look forward to that because that's the horizon you should be focusing on, and not just having this immediate gratification and then, doing something silly. So then execute on your plan, right? You have a plan in place. Execute, use your script, sip your drink, or walk away, right? Those kind of three things you can do. You can use your script, you can sip your drink, and just keep talking, or you can just walk away. You can have an exit. If it's okay to do so and it's not going to cause any problems, then just leave, right? That's one of your options as well. So today's mission today, we're going to use the Dare to Be Sober method. We're going to disrupt, ask, reframe, and execute, right? Disrupt, and the social situation looks like this is just social pressure, not my truth. Remind yourself that. Take a deep breath. Check in with yourself. And remember, cravings don't last very long, right? They last maybe 5-10 minutes. If you can just ride through that wave, take a couple deep breaths. If you have to remove yourself, do so, and just kind of get through that and just disrupt those habit loops. Because the more you disrupt them and the more you put better things in place, the easier it's going to get, right? And then ask yourself, do I actually want this drink? Do I actually want this drink? And look at the horizon tomorrow, right? Your first horizon you should be looking at in sobriety is the next day, the next morning, that sober morning, right? And do you actually want this drink? And what is it going to look like if you have the drink for your sober morning tomorrow? Well, it's going to be guilt, shame, anxiety, the same things you're getting, right? But if you want something new, you have to change, right? So what's it going to look like if you don't have the drink? Look at that sober morning. Just visualize it in your head. I'm going to have this. I'm going to do this with my kids. I'm going to show up to work tomorrow. I'm going to step into that super 2.0. And those things are the things that are going to drive you forward, right? And then reframe it, right? Saying no means saying yes to tomorrow. Saying no now means saying yes to tomorrow. It means saying yes to that sober morning we're looking towards. It means stepping into that sober 2.0 version of you. It means confidence and clarity. And guess what? You're stepping into a version of you that some other people might be looking at you and going, whoa, wow, you're changing. And they might have the courage to do that. So you never know what's going to happen with that. So just be confident in tomorrow is going to be a lot better if you don't have the drink. And then execute, use your script, sip your drink, walk away, have that plan, execute on it. And then that'll really help you get you to where you want to go. So, also just remember the horizon technique, right? Picture tomorrow morning, clear, proud, no regrets. That's the real win. If you picture, and you can also picture the horizon, that if you do have a drink, right? And it's going to be guilt, shame, anxiety. So which one do you want to choose? You kind of have two options here. If you picture tomorrow, clear, proud, no regrets, that's going to be the real win. That's how you step in the sober 2.0 version of you. That's the whole premise of the sober morning reset is get to that sober morning, right? In the very beginning, let's just get to tomorrow morning sober. Let's try and get as many sober mornings as we can this week, and then we'll start stacking those and having another horizon of a week, and then another horizon of a month, and then another horizon of 90 days, right? But we got to work at it one win at a time, one day at a time, one social event at a time. So that's going to be helpful as well. So when in doubt, dare, right? Disrupt, ask, reframe, and execute. Print that, post it, use it. I made that for you guys so that we had kind of a method and something we can carry with us to get to where we want to go. So thank you so much for letting me be your coach, you guide. Life is so much better on the sober side. I do have some spots open for the Sober Morning Reset coaching program. It's one-to-one coaching with me. We'll create a personalized reset plan. We'll walk through the reset, rewire, reclaim, rebuild framework. We'll also have these 4 horizons, right? So the horizon number 1 is going to be looking towards tomorrow, trying to get as many sober mornings as you can. Horizon 2 will be getting through a week with as many sober days as you can, or whatever your goal is. And then we'll work work it a month, and then we'll look at your 90-day plan and see where you're going. And then it all starts with the sober strategy call. On that call, we'll walk through the same framework. We'll give you, a plan for the next 30 days to kind of walk through that. And if you decide to work with me, I'll help you get a personalized plan. We'll walk through these things together, and we'll have accountability and support as you go. So if that's something you're interested in, I'll leave a link in the comments. I'll leave a link in the email. We can hopefully get you to where you want to go. Anyways, guys, have yourselves a meaningful day. Life is so much better on the sober side. I'll see you tomorrow for another sober morning reset video. So see you guys later.